What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Chandler Burton Entertainment. And so today it's going to be the part three of my movie collection here. I also forgot that I had some other movies in the other category. See that right here. So we'll actually start off by doing that. So I apologize that I messed up my piles a little bit here. So we're gonna start with these here. We're gonna do some more other movies that I couldn't find a category for, and then at the bottom here. Today we're going to look at the animated and the family movies here. So again, if you like what you see, feel free to hit the like button and subscribe. That does go a long way. As you can tell, the movies down here, it's not as big as a list as last time, so we're just at the very, very end of showing off all the movies. But again, we'll go ahead and get that started with my other movies, and we will go from there. All right, so as I mentioned in the beginning here, is that I actually have a couple more movies that I have in my other category, and so I forgot to add those in there, so I do apologize about that. So we're going to start with those movies here. It's a pretty short list, and then we're going to move on to family movies. So we'll go ahead and get started from there. Again, there's not too many movies to go over on this one, so this video should be a little bit shorter than the other ones, although I do appreciate everybody watching the videos and hopefully having a good time looking at my movie collection. So it's been fun for me to make these, so I really appreciate you guys checking it out. Okay, so the first one we're going to do here is mid-90s. This is written and directed by Jonah Hill. I actually have not seen this movie yet. I actually bought it because I heard it was really, really good. So I do need to watch this movie, but I have not seen this yet. If you have seen it, let me know down below how you liked it. It looks like it's a really interesting film, so that's why I got it. So I'm going to be watching this here very soon. I'm really looking forward to it. All right, next is Top Gun. So I've seen Top Gun once, and I'm actually going to watch it again with my mom because we're going to go see the new Top Gun here. I think it got moved. I think it's the summer now. It was released in... I don't know when. It's coming out sometime this year, I think. I could be wrong. But Top Gun, classic, can't go wrong. First Cow. I actually haven't seen this movie either. I bought it because, again, it got really good reviews. I heard it's a really good movie. I just have been so busy. I just have not had a chance to sit down and actually watch the film. So this one, in mid-90s, I really need to sit down and watch. But I got this for like 15 bucks on Blu-ray, so I am excited to check it out. Lady Bird. This came out the same year as Get Out, and so for me, I was so obsessed with Get Out that I heard about this movie, but I never actually saw it. And I eventually got around to seeing it, and I gotta say, it is one of the most ingenious, wonderfully funny movies that you'll ever see. It is so good. Again, as I mentioned before, I'm not going to give any spoilers for any of the films that I talk about, but seriously, give Lady Bird a shot. You may be pleasantly surprised like I was. I was a little concerned when I saw the trailer. I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. But honestly, I really love this movie. It's a great watch. Alright, we got two more in the other category, then we'll move on to family films. So we have The Way Back with Ben Affleck. This is actually it was Onward, Invisible Man, and this movie were the last movies I saw before theaters shut down. This is actually the last movie I did see when we got the news that everything is shutting down due to COVID. And it was a good way to end out because I really like this movie. It's actually a really powerful film because Ben Affleck has struggled with alcoholism in his own life, and so it's really portrayed well in this film, and it's a basketball film. If you're looking for a basketball movie, it's not really about that. It's more about Ben Affleck's character and overcoming his trial and addiction. So the basketball is kind of like a subplot in the movie, but honestly, it's a really good performance by Ben Affleck. It's a really, really good film. Just don't expect a lot of basketball. That's what you're looking for. You may not get what you want for going in for that, but really good film. Alright, and the last one here is Jojo Rabbit. Again, I was very late to the game with this movie. Taika Waititi is such a brilliant, funny, and creative director. He also plays a really good Hitler, which really sounded weird coming out of my mouth. But he's really good at what he does, man. This is a great film. It's funny when it needs to be. It's serious when it needs to be. It's also really emotional. Like, really, really emotional. I cannot wait to see what Taika Waititi does with Thor, Love, and Thunder. I think that's his next movie. And I think he's going to be doing a Star Wars movie, which I really think will be good for him. Because he directed the last episode of The Mandalorian in Season 1. and that was one of my favorite episodes of the entire show. So those are my other movies. So I had a couple left over from the other ones from my first video. So thank you for letting me go over those here. So next we're going to look at the family films. And then after that, we're going to get to the animated films. And that'll be every single movie that I own. So let's go and get into it. Alright, so now we're going to take a look at my family-friendly films. These are the films that you can watch with your family and that the whole family can enjoy. A lot of them are in my animated section as well, but these are the ones that I kind of categorized here. So I do movies really weird. I don't know why, but we'll go over these movies. Again, it's a pretty short list, pretty short stack of movies here. So, and then we'll do the animated ones. We'll be good to go. So first up on our list here is Sonic the Hedgehog. Again, everyone knows what happened to this movie. It was scrapped for a while because Sonic looked horrendous. Then they fixed him, and let me tell you, man, I'm not joking when I say this is probably my favorite video game movie. And don't get me wrong, I know it's not great, but it's a lot of fun. And it's got a really cool ending action sequence. It's really good. I honestly was shocked of how well I liked this film. Like, really, really shocked. I was like, oh man, am I gonna like this? But I had a great job, and Jim Carrey was great. The movie was just fun. I had a good time with it, and honestly, I cannot wait for Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Really looking forward to it. Lion King, the live-action one. I do have the original Lion King. It is downstairs, but it's actually my dad's. But we do have it on Blu-ray, so I was like, I don't want to buy it if we already have a copy of it here. So I did buy this version. I wasn't a huge fan of this movie, but I bought it anyway just because I'm weird and I don't know why I spent my money on this, because this is probably one of my least favorite movies of 2019. But again, something about buying these live-action Disney movies I really enjoy. I'm actually building up collecting all the live-action ones, so we'll see how that goes. But so we had the live-action Lion King. It wasn't that great, but I still own it. Yay me. Peanut Butter Falcon, one of the best movies that I've seen in the past couple of years. Shia LaBeouf was great in it. I forgot the other kid's name. Because he was like let's look it up. His name's Zach, and his name's Zach in the movie as well, so I apologize about that. This movie was a lot of fun. It's a great movie for Shia LaBeouf to do. I know he's been a weird guy lately, so really, when he did this movie, I was so pleasantly surprised. And the name, of course, is going to turn people off. It's like, what? The Peanut Butter Falcon? What the heck does that mean? But you have to understand why it's called that. It explains it in the movie. And again, no spoilers here, but this movie really will touch your heart. It's a really feel-good movie that I think the whole family can enjoy. And I think there is a lesson here, is don't judge a book by its cover. I think it's a really good lesson in this film. It's also very funny and, again, very heartwarming. The Greatest Showman, I was not a fan of this movie at first, but then I eventually came around and was like, okay, it's actually not as bad as I thought it was. My mom saw this movie like a billion times in theaters. I didn't go once because I just was not interested, so eventually I watched it and I was like, you know what, it's not bad. I watched it a few more times. I ended up really enjoying the movie. The music's great. The story's really simple to follow. I don't know why it got such bad reviews. Like, it's a fun movie. It's not my favorite musical. I'm not even a huge musical guy, to be honest, because I love music, but not a huge fan of musicals. But this movie, I really enjoyed. I thought it was really good. And Hugh Jackman always is just such a joy to watch. I love that man. It's funny watching him do that and, like, Logan. You're just like, holy crap, this man can act. Alright, so we got Detective Pikachu. Again, this is probably my other favorite video game movie. It has Ryan Reynolds in it. This is a really fun... I like Sonic better because I grew up more with Sonic. With Pokemon, I loved it when I was a kid, but I kind of grew out of it as I've got older. I still like it. I'm very casual when it comes to Pokemon, but not as much as I like Sonic. But I gotta say, man, this movie I think is better put together than Sonic. I just like Sonic a little bit better, but this movie's hilarious. It's actually very heartwarming, and if you're a video game fan or a Pokemon fan, I guarantee you've seen it. But honestly, this movie was really fun. I hope they do another Pokemon movie, maybe not like Detective Pikachu, but they could do something else with Pokemon. I think that'd be really cool. And honestly, the Pokemon look really good in this movie. So, Detective Pikachu, good film. A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood with Tom Hanks. This movie was absolutely amazing, completely touched my heart. Tom Hanks, of course, is great in everything that he does. This movie was really more about the reporter than Mr. Rogers, and I thought that was really, really cool how they tied everything together. It's a really emotional movie. This is the definition of a great family film. Like, it's very, very sweet. It has some very interesting, funny moments, but it really touched my heart. This is one of the best movies I saw of, I think it was 2019 is when it came out. Yeah, 2019. It really is. It's an incredible film. Super, super good movie. Christopher Robin, the live-action Winnie the Pooh. I'm a huge Winnie the Pooh fan. I always have been ever since I was a kid. I've seen every single animated movie. I've seen the TV show. I love Winnie the Pooh. I think it's just so funny. And this movie was great. I know a lot of people saying this is one of their least favorite live-action movies, but I got to be honest, man. I really enjoyed this film. I still thought it was heartwarming. I thought all the characters were great. The designs of the characters look a little dirty, but other than that, I really enjoyed the film. I thought it was really sweet, and I thought it was a lot of fun. Call of the Wild. Nothing too wild about it, but it will definitely warm your heart. I never read the book. I know this is a book I think a lot of people read in school, but I didn't read a lot of books in school, so maybe I just didn't read it. But I like the movie. The movie was really good. Some of the animation was kind of weird with the dogs, but honestly, Harrison Ford was great. The movie was just very heartwarming, and since I didn't read the book, I didn't know what was going to happen at the end or throughout the film, and so I definitely was taken by surprise with it. I really enjoyed the film. It's very, again, very heartwarming. A heartwarming family film. Alright, so next we got the live-action Aladdin. Again, we have the original Aladdin. It's just downstairs. But I actually really like the live-action version of Aladdin. I know a lot of people weren't a fan of it because, again, I think a lot of people really like Will Smith as the genie. I thought it was great. He didn't copy what Robin Williams did. He kind of just did his own thing with it. So I thought that was really good. Really good film. I really like Aladdin. Alright, and the last one, Space Jam. Now, this could be considered, I guess, an animated movie, but since it has elements of live action and animated, I was like, we'll just make it a family movie. This movie is completely nostalgic for me. I mean, this is one of the first movies I saw in theaters with my mom. It was this movie and Toy Story 1. So I have very fond memories of this movie. Space Jam's not the best movie ever. It sure is hilarious, I will say that. And to be honest, I am super stoked for Space Jam: A New Legacy. I am really excited for that film. I think it will be just as good, if not better, than Space Jam. So I'm really looking forward to that new movie. Okay, so those are my family-friendly films. Now we're going to get on to my animated films, and we will go from there. All right, this is it. The moment of truth. We have one more stack, and that'll be officially all the movies that I have. So we got quite a bit of animated movies here. I'm a big animation guy, always have been, so there's quite a bit. So we'll go ahead and just go through these here. I apologize that I've been commentating on most of the movies. I just get excited to talk about them because, most people don't really care when I talk about movies. So this is kind of my way of, expressing my excitement for films and those types of things. So we'll go ahead and just go through the list here. I'll try to keep it brief. This video is going to be a little bit shorter than the other ones, guarantee it. So again, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me and going over all my movies. So we're going to get started. So first up on the list here is the original SpongeBob movie. Love SpongeBob. I've been a fan. Everything from 1999 all the way up to the first film, which is this, is comedy gold. It is some of the funniest TV ever. Definitely fell a bit after the next movie, which I'll show you, Sponge Out of Water, I thought was good. And I thought Sponge on the Run was pretty good too. So the movies are pretty good. The movies are pretty funny. So again, the second one, the SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water. I definitely like the first one out of the three are definitely, the first one is the best. I actually really like Sponge Out of Water. When I first saw it, I was like, I'm not a big fan, but the more I watched it, the more I was like, you know what, this is going to be the closest that we get to that original SpongeBob humor, because some of the old writers and directors came back for this movie, and honestly, it's a fun time. A little bit deceiving from the trailer, if you know what I'm talking about, but honestly, I had a great time with this movie. Teen Titans Go to the movies. I'll say it. I'm a pretty big fan of Teen Titans Go. I think it's pretty funny, and the movie honestly was really funny as well. It makes fun of classic superhero movies. This is pretty much essentially Deadpool, but for kids, and I guess for families too. But honestly, this movie cracks me up. I think it's hilarious. Maybe because my sense of humor is like theirs, really lowbrow, and but I still found it funny. Teen Titans Go versus the Teen Titans. I actually really like this movie. You can actually watch it. It's on Hulu if you're interested in watching this here. It's actually a really fun movie, kind of watching how the original Teen Titans interact with the Teen Titans Go characters. It's actually a lot of fun. It's only like it's like a 77 minutes long, really quick watch. It's a lot of fun. Check it out. Again, it's on Hulu if you have it. Lion King 1.5. This is one of my guilty pleasure movies. It's really short. Again, it's like, 76 minutes. It's really fast. But it tells Timon and Pumbaa's story from their side of things from the Lion King. The movie cracks me up. I love this movie. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's a lot of fun. Storks. A lot of people don't agree with me, but I think this movie is absolutely hysterical. It reminds me of old classic Looney Tunes, like the humor in it, and the story's a little bit weird for it, but honestly, I love this movie. It's super funny. Zootopia, probably my favorite animated Disney movie. Not Pixar, but my favorite animated Disney film. This movie has such a powerful message about, like, racism and loving one another and not judging a book by its cover. This movie is a lot more than what you think it is, and it's super entertaining. It's honestly, to me, not comparing it to Pixar, I think it's Disney's best achievement when it comes to an animated film. I think it's phenomenal, everything about it. To me, it's a 10 out of 10. It's one of the best movies ever made. So go Disney. Can't wait for the second one. The second one is happening, supposedly this year. So hopefully in November. I think that's the release date. So Big Hero 6, another great superhero movie. Again, I was super late to the party on this movie. But look at little Baymax. He's so cute. This movie's great. If you like superhero movies, it's just a lot of fun. It's just a great movie. Sausage Party. Now, this movie was going to go in my comedies, but I figured since it's animated, I'll just leave it in there. This movie is raunchy. I actually worked at the theater when this movie came out, and I remember, actually, a little quick story. I worked at the box office where you buy the tickets, and I remember this is no joke. I had a family of 4 come up to me. It was the mom and dad and the 2 kids, and they asked for 2 tickets for Sausage Party. No, 4 tickets, I'm sorry. And I told them that I can't let your kids in because it's rated R. They thought it was the new Disney movie that was coming. I was like, no, I saw it the other night. This is the hardest rated R movie I've seen in a while. And they got mad at me and wanted to speak to the manager, and the manager told them the same thing. So, it's funny, they had to put the rated R, like, on the cover just to make sure people know. But the name alone, Sausage Party, you probably know, like, what you're kind of getting into. But this movie is hysterical. It is... man, if you know what I'm talking about. Especially at the end. My goodness. Absolutely hilarious of a film. Alright here. So, now we got probably my favorite animated films of all time. So we got the first Toy Story, of course, a classic. We got Toy Story 2, which is, again, another classic. This movie, I didn't know this, was supposed to go straight to DVD when it first came out. It came out like 1999, and it was supposed to go right out to video, but they put it in theaters. And there's also a huge history about this movie. Like, they almost deleted the footage, and they almost lost all the... it's crazy. Look it up. Look up, like, Toy Story 2, like, Pixar's mistake, like, losing the memory of this film or losing the footage. It's crazy to watch. I couldn't imagine how stressful that would have been. Toy Story 3, not only one of my favorite movies of all time, but this is my favorite Pixar movie of all time. And to me, again, not Disney, because Disney Animation Studios is different than Pixar. To me, this is Pixar's greatest achievement, right here. Toy Story 3. It is one of the best movies ever. Again, just my personal opinion, of course. I have a whole podcast if you want to listen to it. I'll try to put a link up here or whatever. But super, super good. Love Toy Story 3. Toy Story 4, I think it's just as good as the other 3. I know a lot of people are like, this movie's not necessary. But if you think about it, Andy's arc was what closed out the first 3. But we didn't really get the end of Woody. And Woody's like the main character. And man, I know a lot of people were wanting more out of the end. But for me, I liked it pretty good. I did cry at this movie. So, Toy Story 4, I love this movie. I think it's great. All 4 of them, to me, are masterpieces. I love Toy Story 4. All of them are like 10 out of 10s. Okay, so we have the original Lego Movie. Hilarious, hilarious film. Kind of a surprise, too. I thought it was going to suck. Lego Batman, some has the most quotable lines in this movie ever. It's so good. This is like one of the best Batman movies ever. I'm not joking. Super good film. the Lego Ninjago movie. This has nothing to do with the TV show. It's kind of its own thing. So that's why I was like, thank goodness I can watch it and not understand the show. This one is definitely the weakest out of the four, but it's still it's got some moments that you're like, dude, that's hilarious, and the action's always really cool too. So good movie. I still like it. My least favorite of the four. And then the Lego movie, the title's a tongue twister. The Lego Movie 2, the second part. There we go. Got that right. Okay. This is so honestly, if I have to rank them, it would be Lego Batman, the Lego Movie, the Lego 2 movie, and then Lego Ninjago. This one was funny. Not as good as the original, but it was still very good. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, one of the best movies. Totally took me by surprise. I was late to the party on this too. I didn't even see it in theaters. But man, cannot wait for the second one. This movie is mind-blowingly good. Like 11 out of 10. It's that good of a film. Love the way it looks like a comic book. I think it's great. South Park, bigger, longer, and uncut. And yes, that is what she said big time. The South Park movie, of course, South Park, if you're a fan and love their humor, you're going to find this movie hilarious. I think South Park is one of the funniest shows in existence. I just think it's great. Wasn't a big fan. The vaccine special was okay, but I love the pandemic special. That one was hilarious. Jonah, a VeggieTales movie. I love VeggieTales. I actually bought this, not just because I saw it. I was like, I know what? I want to own this movie. This movie cracks me up. It's just funny. I just like VeggieTales. It's cool. No shame in owning that movie. Justice League vs. the Teen Titans, another cool animated movie I got from my friend. Very small. It's a really short movie. It's only like 78 minutes, so again, it's a really quick watch. I don't know if it's on any streaming platforms, but this movie is a lot of fun. DC always gets it right in the animated department, but they really struggle with the live action stuff, except Zack Snyder's Justice League, which I thought was wonderful, and a couple other movies as well. But yeah, Zack Snyder's Justice League was great, but always in animated form. They're always really good. The Simpsons movie, which you can watch on Disney Plus, hilarious film. The Incredibles, probably it's my third favorite Pixar movie. For me, my top three are Toy Story 3, Finding Nemo, and then The Incredibles. This movie is great. I watched it recently, and it's like, man, this movie is still good, dude. So good. And then last movie, Captain Underpants, the first epic movie. Sorry, I had to make sure I got that right. I loved the books as a kid, and I loved this movie. I thought it was hilarious. This movie's great. So definitely check it out. I think most people saw it. I think it did pretty well. So, all right, my friends. Well, that is all of my movies. I really appreciate you checking out all three of the videos here. I'll make sure to leave links below to my other two videos if you haven't seen them. But again, if you like what you see, if you want to hit the subscribe button and the like button, that does go a long way. Again, this has been Chandler Burton Entertainment, but until next time, I hope you all take care.